Today's lesson is Feeling the Burn. Everything you need to know about chili peppers. Hi, everybody. I'm Roger.
Hello, I'm Kiki. Roger, do you like to feel the burn? Do you like to eat chili peppers?
Yes and no. I like the sort of flavor of them, but I don't really like the heat involved with them. So I'm not a big fan of the really hot chili peppers that people eat sometimes to be macho and to show off. But I do like the flavor a little bit, especially if it's in like Thai food or Mexican food.
Yeah, I like to eat chili peppers. I like to eat spicy things when they help elevate the rest of the flavors. But when you see some of those eating competitions, like who can eat the spiciest chicken wings, when you can no longer taste the food, I don't think that's really my thing. I don't like that.
Well, some people do like that, and that's what chili peppers are for. It's a kind of seasoning for food in various cuisines around the world. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get to it. Let's introduce this topic by listening to the first part right now.
Feeling the burn. Everything you need to know about chili peppers.Found in cuisines around the world, chili peppers add a spicy kick that some foodies are just wild about. In fact, some people are so obsessed with the spice levels of different peppers that a special scale was invented to measure them.
大家好，第一部分我们来看到片语 be wild about somebody 或是 about something， 指的是对点点点非常狂热或是热衷。例如 Jim is wild about the new girl in his class and talks about her all the time. Jim 为班上的新女同学疯狂，不断地讨论她。或者 Pam is absolutely wild about classical music and attends concerts regularly. Pam 对古典音乐非常狂热，且会定期参加音乐会。
Okay, so again, we're feeling the burn, which means you can feel how hot it is. I should mention that in English, we say that food is hot when it's very hot and spicy. Sometimes we confuse this ourselves. This food is very hot. You mean hot in temperature or hot spicy? So sometimes you have to specify exactly what you mean because we do use the word hot for both really spicy and really hot in temperature. But yes, we're feeling the burn, and we're going to tell you all that we know about chili peppers.
So, talking about chili peppers, found in cuisines around the world, chili peppers add a spicy kick that some foodies are just wild about. So, cuisines are basically styles or methods of cooking that have very interesting characteristics that might be related to a particular type of culture or country or a region. So when we talk about different foods from different countries, we can refer to them as the country's cuisine. So for example, French cuisine or Thai cuisine, it is the way the people of that country, how they cook and the ingredients that they cook with. And cuisines also show an important part of that country's culture.
Indeed. Like, of course, here in Taiwan, we've got different kinds of cuisine. We've got Chinese cuisine, Hakka cuisine, Taiwanese cuisine, etc. And, of course, chili peppers can be found in cuisines all over the world. And these chili peppers add a spicy kick that some foodies are just wild about. Now, a kick here just means an extra boost. Sometimes your food might taste a little bland and it really needs something. So you put chili peppers on it to give it a little bit of a kick. Give it some extra flavor, some extra stimulation. Maybe you enjoy your pizza, but the pizza is kind of dull. So you put some of that chili pepper that they offer in pizza restaurants and it will give it that extra kick. And you might be just wild about that flavor.
Right. So foodies, they get really crazy about their food. They can line up for hours just to try something that they think might be really tasty. So they get really excited and enthusiastic about their food. So they are just wild about it. So when someone is just wild about something, we're not talking about people that are out in the wild. In this case, we're talking about people that are crazy about something. When you're wild about something, you are are crazy for a certain topic. You like something a lot. So foodies, they are crazy, or they can be crazy. They can be wild about what chili pepper does to the food.
Isn't that a really old song? I'm just wild about Harry, and Harry's just wild about me. I hope I got the name right there, but that's an old song, maybe even 80 years old or so. But in any case, yes, to be wild about something means you're crazy about that thing. You really love it. In fact, some people are so obsessed with the spice levels of different peppers that a special scale was invented to measure them. So if you're obsessed with something, or if you're obsessed about something, you think about that thing all the time. You're crazy about that thing. And indeed, there are some foodies out there, or people who love food, who really love their chili peppers, and they probably try to outdo each other in terms of the spiciest food that they can eat. Okay, let's move on now to the next part of our lesson and talk about this special scale to measure the spiciness of chili peppers.
The heat of a chili pepper comes from an oil-like plant compound called capsaicin. The capsaicin inside a chili pepper is concentrated in the pith, the white part of the fruit attached to the seeds. This large concentration of capsaicin means that the spiciest part of a chili pepper is indeed the pith, not the seeds, as many people mistakenly believe. Capsaicin can be measured with the Scoville scale, which was developed by Wilbur Scoville in 1912. The Scoville scale rates the spiciness of peppers in Scoville heat units, ranging from 0 for the mildest bell peppers to nearly 2.7 million for the intensely hot Pepper X. Interestingly, while capsaicin gives chili peppers their spiciness, it's also largely responsible for their many health benefits. For example, some studies suggest that capsaicin can aid weight loss by reducing appetite and speeding up the fat-burning process. Besides capsaicin, chili peppers contain ferulic acid, a compound that may help fend off chronic diseases such as kidney disease. Chili peppers are also high in vitamins A and C, which are important for proper immune function.
"第二部分介绍 compound 这个名词的意思是化合物或是混合物。例如 The chemistry lab is testing various compounds for their potential medical uses. 该化学实验室正在测试各种化合物的潜在医疗用途。或是 Scientists discovered a compound that could potentially cure the disease. 科学家们发现了一种可能会治愈该疾病的化合物。接下来我们看到动词 concentrate， 它的意思是使集中、汇集，也可以是使浓缩或是全神贯注的意思。例如 The special lamp in a dentist's office concentrates light on the patient's mouth. 牙医诊所的特殊灯具会将光线集中照在患者的口腔。又或者说My parents won't let me get a part-time job because they want me to concentrate on my studies. 我的父母不让我打工，因为他们希望我专心在学业上。下一个是副词 intensely， 表示极度的或是强烈的。可以说 Tina became intensely angry at the store clerk for he wouldn't let her return an item of clothing. Tina 开始对店员发飙，因为他不让她把一件衣服退货。又或者说The sun beat down intensely, making it a scorching hot day. 太阳太大了，让天气变得火辣辣的。再来是片语 be responsible for 名词，或是 be responsible for 动词加 ing， 指的是造成点点点的原因。举例来说 Improper usage was responsible for the failure of the equipment. 不正确的使用是导致该设备故障的原因。或是 Modern medicine is responsible for making humans live longer. 现代的医药能让人类活得更长久。
Okay, in the second part of our lesson for today, it begins by saying, the heat of a chili pepper comes from an oil-like plant compound called capsaicin. Okay, so it's a chemical compound. And a compound is just a combination of different things together. So it's a chemical, but it's got all sorts of different elements put together or bonded together in some kind of chemical formula. So it's a plant compound which is in plants, and it's called capsaicin. And it's an oil-like plant compound. So it's kind of oily. You can get this from the chili pepper, and it's this chemical compound in there that causes the heat of chili peppers. It makes them hot and spicy.
The capsaicin inside a chili pepper is concentrated in the pith, the white part of the fruit attached to the seeds. Okay, so when we cut open a chili pepper, we will see that it has the seeds in the middle, and there are these white fibers inside the meaty part, and that's the pith. And the capsaicin is concentrated in the pith. When something is concentrated, it is a large amount of something to be very dense with this thing. So for example, if you have laundry detergent, it has a lot of soap. It's very highly concentrated, so you might not have to use so much of the soap, and it will still produce a lot of bubbles for you to clean your clothes. So in this case, the capsaicin is concentrated, or it is located in the pith, or the white part of the fruit.
Yeah, now that you mention it, we've got some concentrated laundry detergent at home. You only need about 1 or 2 squirts to do a load of laundry because it's highly concentrated. There's a lot of stuff in a small space. And, of course, this is the white part of the fruit, which is attached to the seeds. It's connected to the seeds. And this large concentration of capsaicin means that the spiciest part of a chili pepper is indeed the pith, not the seeds, as many people mistakenly believe. So a lot of people believe that, oh, chili peppers are spicy because of the seeds. Well, no, it's not because of the seeds. It's because of the capsaicin, which is attached to the pith or is in the pith. And that's why these kinds of plants are so spicy hot.
So I myself thought that it was the seeds that made the chili very spicy. So I'm glad that I learned that today, so I won't have too much of the pith in my chili sauce. Okay, so capsaicin can be measured with the Scoville scale, which was developed by Wilbur Scoville in 1912. Okay, so the Scoville scale is a special type of scale that helps measure how spicy a chili pepper is. And nowadays we can see a lot of chilies. They will be graded by the Scoville scale. And sometimes when people sell their chili sauce or their hot sauce, they will also mention how spicy it is on the Scoville scale.
Right, and of course, some people really like this. They like to try different kinds of spices. And of course, lots of these peppers around the world have different levels on the Scoville scale. Again, it rates the spiciness of peppers in these heat units, and it ranges from 0 for the mildest bell peppers, which aren't spicy at all, you know, the green ones or the red ones or the yellow ones. Those are bell peppers, and they're not spicy at all. Anybody can eat them, and that's 0. But then the scale goes up to nearly 2.7 million for a pepper, which is called pepper X, and it's intensely hot. If something's intense, it is very strong and very concentrated. And, of course, here we've got the adverb form of this word. It's intensely hot, and it's called pepper X. And, again, there are different kinds of peppers around the world that have different levels on the Scoville scale.
Interestingly, while capsaicin gives chili peppers their spiciness, it's also largely responsible for their many health benefits. So it's actually healthy to eat chili peppers, or there are health benefits when you eat chili, and it's the capsaicin that actually gives these health benefits.
Right, and here we've got the phrase to be responsible for something. In this particular case, it means it's the cause of something. It's why these plants are so healthful, or healthy, you could also say. In some situations, of course, you might be responsible for something in your family or in your company. It's your responsibility to do something. But in any case, we'll talk about the spiciness and why it's healthy. For example, some studies suggest that capsaicin can aid weight loss by reducing appetite and speeding up the fat burning process. Okay, so if you're a little overweight And if you don't like spicy food, well, you might want to change your mind because if you have some of these hot peppers, it might aid in your loss of appetite so you don't eat so much, and it could speed up your fat-burning process. To speed something up just means to increase its speed.
Besides capsaicin, chili peppers contain ferulic acid, a compound that may help fend off chronic diseases such as kidney disease. So aside from capsaicin, chili peppers, they have another type of chemical compound, which is called the ferulic acid. And this compound helps fend off or fight off chronic diseases such as kidney disease. So the word chronic is basically something that means long-term or something that you have to deal with over a long period of time. But in this case, usually chronic diseases, they're something that you might have to deal with for the rest of your life. It's something that you don't have a cure for, but if you take care of it properly, you can still be able to live a healthy life. And in this case, the article is suggesting that the ferulic acid, this compound, might actually help prevent you from developing certain chronic diseases.
Right, such as kidney disease, and chili peppers are also high in vitamins A and C, which are important for proper immune function. Hey, we're not doctors here, we're English teachers, so if you want to consider using this to help you with your health problems, consult your doctor first. Okay, that brings us to the end of the second part of our lesson for today. Let's listen now to the third and final part.
Though chili peppers are a great way to spice up a dish, they can also be unpleasant if their heat levels are too high. Consuming dairy products like milk or cheese is one effective way to cool down your mouth, as they contain a protein that binds with capsaicin and helps cancel out the heat. In contrast, water won't do the trick, as it can't dissolve capsaicin. Chili peppers can add a wonderful spark to meals, but a closer look reveals that these fascinating fruits are also packed with health benefits. So when it comes to delighting our taste buds and improving our health, chili peppers are definitely a hot topic.
第三部分介绍片语 cancel out， 指的是抵消或是消去。我们可以说 Planting trees in a city can help cancel out the negative effects of air pollution from cars. 在市区种树有助于抵消汽车废气污染所引起的负面效应。也可以说 The unusual amount of rain in the fall canceled out some of the effects of the dry summer. 秋天不寻常的雨量抵消了夏天干旱的部分影响。最后我们看到 dissolve 这个动词的意思是使溶解，也可以是解散或是终止的意思。例如The sugar began to dissolve instantly when stirred into the hot coffee. 糖一搅入热咖啡，随即开始溶解。再看一个例子 Many old companies adapt or dissolve as new technologies emerge. 随着新科技的出现，许多老公司进行了调整或解散。
Though chili peppers are a great way to spice up a dish, they can also be unpleasant if their heat levels are too high. So like I mentioned before, I like to eat spicy stuff because it can really spice up or help elevate certain flavors or other flavors. But if it's too spicy and I can't eat anything and it only makes me feel uncomfortable, it makes my mouth feel uncomfortable, then it's not a fun experience. Okay, here we have the phrase spice up. When you want to spice something up, you are trying to make something more attractive or you want to make something very interesting. And when we're talking about a dish, you want to make the flavors pop, okay? You can also spice up your wardrobe by adding the newest fashion trends of the season, okay? So when you're spicing something up, you are making it more fashionable or making it more interesting.
Right, so it's a great way to spice up your food, but of course these chili peppers can also be unpleasant if they're too hot, if their heat levels are too high. Consuming dairy products like milk or cheese is one effective way to cool down your mouth, as they contain a protein that binds with capsaicin and helps cancel out the heat. So, of course, lots of people drink water to alleviate the pain caused by hot food, but that doesn't help at all, as we're going to find out. The best thing you can do is consume dairy products such as milk or cheese. It will cool down your mouth so it's not so hot. They have a protein that binds with capsaicin or attaches to it, and that will cancel out the heat. It will even up the temperature in your mouth so you can go have another bite of your food.
In contrast, water won't do the trick as it can't dissolve capsaicin. Okay. So usually when people have something spicy, the first thing they do and the first thing they think about is to drink water. But actually, water won't do the trick. It can't help you relieve the pain or the unpleasant feeling of the spice because water doesn't dissolve the capsaicin. So when something dissolves, it is when a solid is added to a liquid and it disappears into its liquid form and mixes with the liquid that's inside the container. So for example, sugar will dissolve in water. And in this case, water doesn't dissolve the capsaicin. So if you drink water, it doesn't actually break down the capsaicin.
Right, and of course here we're suggesting you have dairy or cheese. I've even tried eating bread or white rice or even black coffee. I've had some success with those to cool down my mouth. Now here in the final paragraph it says, chili peppers can add a wonderful spark to meals. They can give them a kick. They can make them extra special. But a closer look reveals that these fascinating fruits are also packed with health benefits. Okay, chili peppers, I guess, are a kind of fruit, and they're packed with health benefits. That means they have a lot of benefits in a very small place.
So, when it comes to delighting our taste buds and improving our health, chili peppers are definitely a hot topic. So, not only does it taste good, it is also good for our health. Okay, so that comes to the end of our article today. Let's hand things over to our Chinese teacher, Henny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 今天要练习文意选填的题型，那我们先快速的浏览题目10个选项。 A 选项 attached， 那 attach 这个动词它表示系上、贴上或使附着固定，这边有可能是过去式或过去分词。以过去分词来当形容词的话，可以描述是隶属于什么的或依恋的。 B bind， 它可能是单数动词或者是复数名词，那它当动词的时候表示捆绑或者是使粘合结合，当名词的时候可以指困境，不过名词的用法常常用单数，像 in a bind 就可以表达陷入困境，那这边我们可以暂时不考虑名词的用法。 C obsessed， 这个 obsessed 的动词表示使着迷，那这边有可能是过去式或过去分词，以过去分词当形容词可以描述对什么什么着迷的。 D spice up， 表示为食物来添加香料，将什么调味，为什么来增添风味或趣味。 E packed， 那 pack 这个动词可以表达打包啊、收拾、挤进或塞满，这边有可能是过去式或过去分词，以过去分词当形容词可以描述是充满什么的或是非常拥挤的。 F 选项 fend off 表示回避、避开、阻挡、抵挡。 G heat 它可以是动词或名词，当动词表示加热使暖和，那么当名词可以指辣度啊、热度、高温、热气。那么 H aid 它可以当动词或名词，当动词就表示帮助，当名词就可以指帮助援助。那么 I 选项 rate 可能是单数动词或复数名词，那它当动词表示评分、平等，当名词表示比率啊、速率啊、价格、费用等等。那么 J trick 它可以是动词或名词，当动词有那种欺骗的意思，当名词可以指技巧、把戏等等。好，那现在看完选项，我们就来做题目吧。我们看到第一题，它写说 Some people are so 什么 with the spice levels of different peppers that a special scale was invented to measure them。 好，空格前面 Some people are so 怎么样，那后面是 with the spice levels of different peppers that 点点点，从句子结构 so 点点点 that 点点点去判断说空格里面应该填入形容词或是可以作为形容词的分词。那符合的选项有 A attached， C obsessed， E packed。那3个选项当中之后可以接 with 而且还符合语义的选项就只有 C obsessed。 Be obsessed with 或是 by 加上人或事物就可以表达对什么着迷。那这边就是要表达有些人对不同辣椒的辣度非常着迷，以至于发明了一种特殊的指标来测量它们。好，第二题他提到 The 空格 of a chili pepper comes from an oil-like plant compound called capsaicin。那空格前面有定冠词 the， 后面有 of a chili pepper， 然后还有单数动词 comes from。那么这边可以推断说空格要填入单数名词，符合的选项有 G heat、H aid、J trick。那语义上判断正确答案应该是 G heat， 表示辣度，说明说辣椒的辣度来自一种称为辣椒素 capsaicin 的这种油状植物化合物。好，再来第三题，他提到说 The capsaicin inside a chili pepper is concentrated in the pith, the white part of the fruit空格 to the seeds。 句子里面后半部这个 the white part of the fruit 空格 to the seeds 是用来补述说明前方的名词 the pith。 那至于空格的前面是 the white part of the fruit， 后面是 to the seeds， 可以推断空格里面应该填入分词。那符合的选项有 A attached 还有 E packed。 那根据语义正确答案应该是 A attached。Be attached to 点点点就可以表达使附着在什么上，使贴在什么上。那可以用来说明这个 the pith 白髓是附着在种子上的果实的白色部分。第四题他提到 the Scoville scale 空格 the spiciness of peppers in Scoville heat units ranging from 0点点点 to nearly 2.7 million 点点点。那空格前面是 the Scoville scale， 那后面是名词片语 the spiciness of peppers in Scoville heat units。 我们可以推断空格里面应该填入第三人称单数的及物动词，符合的选项有 B binds 还有 I rates。 根据语义正确的答案应该是 I rates， 用来表达史高维尔指标，以史高维尔辣度单位对辣椒的辣度进行评分，范围从0度点点点到近270万度点点点。好，再看到第五题，他说 For example, some studies suggest that capsaicin can 空格 weight loss by reducing appetite and speeding up the fat burning process。 那空格前面有 can， 后面有 weight loss by 点点点。从句子结构判断，空格里面应该填入原形有及物用法的动词或片语动词。符合选项有 D spice up、 F fend off、 H aid 和 J trick。 根据语义正确答案应该是 H aid， 来表达说辣椒素可以借由降低食欲和加速燃脂过程来帮助减重。好，再看到第六题 Besides capsaicin, chili peppers contain ferulic acid, a compound that may help空格 chronic diseases such as kidney disease。 句子里面逗号后方的 a compound that may help 点点点一直到 kidney disease， 这是名词同位语，用来说明前方的 ferulic acid。 那至于空格前面是 may help， 后面是 chronic diseases， 从句子结构判断应该填入原形有及物用法的动词或片语动词。符合的选项有 D spice up、 F fend off 还有 J trick。 那根据语义正确答案应该是 F fend off， 用来说明 ferulic acid 阿魏酸是一种可能有助于抵挡、预防肾脏病等慢性疾病的化合物。我们看到第七题，他说 Though chili peppers are a great way to 空格 a dish， 那空格前面有这个 a great way to， 然后后面有 a dish。句子结构判断，空格里面应该填入原形有及物用法的动词或片语动词。符合的选项有 D spice up 还有 J trick。 那根据语义正确答案应该会是 D spice up， 用来表达辣椒是为菜肴调味的好方法。再看到第八题，它这边有提到说 As they contain a protein that 空格with capsaicin and helps cancel out the heat。 那空格是位于 that 引导的形容词子句，用来修饰先行词 a protein。 那从句子结构判断，空格应该填入第三人称单数动词。符合的选项只有 B bind。 那么 bind 在这边是指透过化学力量结合，当这个意思时可以做及物或不及物用。那 bind with something 或者是 bind to something 表达与什么相互结合，这边就是用来表达说因为它们含 含有一种呢与辣椒素结合并有助于抵消辣度的蛋白质。那这个选项符合语义，所以是正确答案哦。好，再看到第9题 In contrast, water won't do the 空格 as it can't dissolve capsaicin。空格接在 do the 之后，可以知道应该要填入名词，那符合的选项只剩下 J trick。 do the trick 就表示发挥作用或是奏效，这边符合句意，用来表达说相较之下水就没有用，因为它无法溶解辣椒素，所以是正确答案哦。再看到最后一题，他说 A closer look reveals that these fascinating fruits are also 空格 with health benefits。 空格前面有 These fascinating fruits are also， 然后后面呢有 with， 从句子结构判断应该填入形容词或分词，可能是用来构成进行式或被动语态。那符合选项只剩下 E packed， 而且符合句意，用来表达说仔细看啊就会发现这些迷人的果实还富含健康益处，所以是正确答案。好，那以上今天的讲解，我们来回顾今天的单字吧。
Cuisine. Timothy is a big fan of French cuisine because his grandparents are from France. Compound. Working in her laboratory, the scientist created a new compound by combining various chemical elements. Concentrate. Through a check of the patient's addresses, the doctor was able to determine that the cases were concentrated in a specific part of the city. Intensely. The heat of the desert sun felt intensely hot as they hiked along the dusty trail. Chronic. My uncle has suffered from chronic back pain for many years due to a work-related injury. Dissolve. Before adding it to the mixture, the chef dissolved the sugar in warm water. Spark. The wit and charm of the lead actors were the sparks that helped make the play such a huge success. Fascinating. My history professor gave a fascinating lecture on ancient civilizations last week.
Well, everyone, today's article has come to an end, and I sure hope you enjoy reading along with us. I am Kiki.
I am Roger.
See you next time.